So welcome back everyone to Old Man Wisdom. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done an update on the EURUSD, but I thought now was the time because obviously we was looking at this level up here. This is the 1.0900 level. It's obviously been plotted on the chart for many weeks, and I wasn't really sure if it was actually going to get up here, but it tried a few times and eventually it has. So we're going to just briefly look at why I'd chosen this level from months ago, and indeed this one down here. And we're going to look at how you would or should have entered. So firstly then, these red lines are taken from the monthly chart. So if we go to the monthly chart here, you'll see that I've got quite a few lines on these on the EURUSD. Now, the reason why I put these lines where I do is for the simple reason that when you look at a chart like this, you can see clusters of candles. Now each candle here is obviously a month long, so it's a very high time frame indeed. But why have I chosen these particular areas of interest? Well, you'll notice that when we get these clusters, what I try to do is pick the middle of each side of the cluster. So in this particular case here, where the chart currently is, the 1.0900 level, I would have put the line here in the middle of this big cluster and then just kind of rounded it up to a round number. The line here, down here, you'll see a cluster over here, and I've picked basically the middle. And even this line here, you see this cluster of candles, and I've picked roughly the middle. That's why that one is there. And again here, there's a cluster of candles here, and I've chosen roughly the middle. And then of course rounded up to a round number. So that's where we get these lines from. It's really quite simple. We could add some more lines. We could pick a cluster up here. We could pick a cluster roughly here. You see that whole cluster? There's a side up here and a side down there. So we're going to pick roughly the middle. And of course we're spotting for highs and lows. You can see that this is a significant level, but we've really just based it on the fact that there's a cluster of candles here. So this is why I've chosen this particular area. So let's go back to the hourly chart, and this is where we are today. So how do we trade this kind of strategy? Well, if we zoom up a little bit closer, if you were to look back on my videos, you'll notice that time and time again, almost on every single video, I talk about how I want to see price come up to a certain level, and then I want to see price stalling. And by stalling, I mean a cluster of candles where it can't go any higher or lower. And in this case, of course, I wanted it to come up to this line or this area, and I wanted to see price pausing or struggling around this area here. And this, of course, is what happened. In fact, earlier today when the market opened, price came up to this level and stalled for several hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. And you would have entered somewhere around here, and you would have had a drawdown of some 35 pips, but you'd have seen price drop nearly 50 pips. And of course price could well go lower. But for me, that's a good risk reward. That's a good return on the risk that we've decided to make. And of course, if you had have missed this area here where it stalled, but then just went a little bit higher, well, again, we saw price stall up here, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. And if you'd have took a trade up here, you'd have put the stop loss just 30 pips above this previous high, and you would have got a return of some 55 pips. So either way, whichever way you're going to do it, but quite frankly, I had already seen this first indication that price was stalling, and I took the trade here and made a good profit. So what do we want price to do now that, like me, maybe you've already took some profit or you've missed this altogether? What do we want to see happen? Well, we want to see price come back up to this area. We want to see price stalling again before it drops lower. And of course, we could safely say that there's some kind of price action here. We're obviously in an upward trend, although it's been going sideways for a good couple of weeks. We want price to come up to roughly this level, and like I always say, we don't sell or buy the market blindly. We want to see price stalling at this level or around about this level before price drops away. If you was very conservative and you really wanted to wait, well, you could wait for a break of trend line here. So there's a couple of different ways to play it, but for me, if I see price stalling back up at this level again, I will look to sell again. I will keep a modest risk reward. We don't want to risk too much on any single trade, and we want to keep to our plan. So if we set a stop loss, then obviously stick to it. So that's my forecast, if you like, of the EURUSD. It's a very simple strategy. Like I say, we don't buy or sell the market blindly. We want to have a reason to enter the market. And of course, here is a possible reason why we might enter the market later this week. So hopefully you've found this video interesting and of use. If you have, then please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, then please do, because there'll be regular weekly EURUSD forecasts released for your benefit. So until the next video, have a great week, and I'll be speaking to you very shortly. Bye for now.